I'm your host and personal counselor, Sarah Nickerson. Join our journey with Berkeley students as they navigate the challenges of the current pandemic with strength, creativity, and wisdom. New episodes released every Friday. Thanks for listening. All right, Alma, I'm so glad to have you here on Friday Feels today. How are you feeling?
I'm already yourself.
I am doing well. It's so dark outside. I know we're for people who don't know, we record the episode a little bit earlier in the week, and right now it's like almost 5 o'clock and it's dark outside. So that's always weird.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like it makes me feel like it's like midnight, even though it's only 5 p.m.
There's times where I feel the same way and I'm like, oh, but it's just early. This daylight savings thing.
Yeah. Can't take a nap yet.
For real.
So usually when we start, we just have the student tell us a little bit about themselves. So whatever you want to share, I would love to hear.
Well, my name is Alma. I am, oh man, I'm going for my health administration degree
Cool. Yeah.
and I am also a photographer.
Wow. I actually didn't know that about you. That's really cool.
Yes, I have been a photographer since 13. Um, I went to school for it. It's called ICP at the Point. Um,
Cool.
at 18, they gave me a scholarship, and I went for a year and a half to the International Center of Photography in Manhattan,
Wow.
and I
What
graduated.
that's amazing. Like what kind of things do you like to take photos of?
So it's a mix of everything. It could be portraits, landscapes, basically anything, still life. But I prefer black and white. I like
Mm.
going to the dark room. I like just how would I say it? It's more of not being able to see the print itself
Mm. Yeah.
and actually focusing on what you want to take a picture of. And then basically, when you print it, it's like, oh, this is what I took a picture of. This is exactly
Wow.
what I wanted.
Yeah.
Didn't know if it was going to come out that way, but it's like you take a chance, you
Yeah.
risk it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's so different I feel like now because we have that like instant gratification with iPhones and everything. And so I can imagine that like, the way that photography was maybe intended to be could create totally different, surprising and wonderful results.
Yes. I also because of that, I've been into photography for so long. I actually have been a TA, as in
Oh,
helping students as well from the ages of 9 to 18. So I
wow.
do help them figure out like the shutter, the aperture, every the basics of black and white photography. How to load the
Wow.
film, how to go into the dark room, the enlargers, and it's like I was at that point. I
Mm,
started there, so it's like I love seeing their reaction.
right. Yeah, like the imagination and the curiosity and the surprise and all of that.
Yes, and they don't expect their prints to come out the
Oh,
way that they do,
yeah.
but it's like, "Oh my god, really? I did this?" And again,
Yeah.
they're only 9 years old. So it's like whatever they
Yeah.
come out with, um, it's amazing either way because you wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah, and I feel like life is so much like that too, right? Like we have to like move in faith hoping that things are going to turn out or look okay on the other end, and sometimes we just don't know.
Yep, I agree though. I do
Yeah.
agree. There's students where they try to how is it? Like they look at something and they'll ask like, "But what if this happens and what if that happens?"
Mm,
Again, this is not an iPhone. This is not like a digital camera. You can't see your print. You just
right.
have to go by your imagination, figure out what you want, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get that picture that you want when you actually go for it. So I
Mm,
tell each student, you take one picture, you probably won't get it. Maybe you'll be lucky to get it, but maybe take two or three to actually figure out if one always has to come out good. Out of
Right.
them 3, 1 is gonna be the best. So just take
Yeah.
1 to 3 between 1 and 3 pictures, and you're good.
That's all you need. One of them's gonna come out.
Exactly. So I try
Well,
for them
yeah.
not to stress out so much because in the end,
Yeah.
it'll be perfect.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also, like, very relevant for the current pandemic because so much is out of our control. What has it been like for you? Like, what has pandemic living been like for you?
Ugh, the pandemic.
That's everyone's feeling.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie, there's been good and bad. Um, there's been times where in the beginning, it was more like it gave me a better way to focus on school, do the assignments I needed. And I'm a homebody. So it was weird because it started off as everybody having to be home and it's like, oh, everybody's home now I want to be outside.
Right. Yeah.
So in the beginning it was fine. I was focusing on school and then it's just like you're home for so long and it's like around everyone and everything and it's like irritation and then annoyed and then
Mm,
it's like everything piling up together. It's like, no, I really want to go outside. I don't want to be around so many people.
yeah.
And it's just my mental health, it it went down. Like
Mm,
that's just something I think everybody's going through. And again, it may have not been something people thought about or was going through at that moment or even knew that they were going through something like this. And then that's when the pandemic hit. And it's like that's when they noticed something was wrong,
mm.
if
Right.
that makes any sense.
For
So
sure.
so it's like yes, there was good, but there was also bad. But let's just thank God we're still here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like, with all that space comes room for things to surface maybe that maybe didn't have so much space before, and that can be both good and bad, right? Like, it's like
I
we're
agree.
able to kinda look ourselves squarely in the face, but sometimes we're afraid of what we might find or afraid of what is coming up. Um but you and I have known each other for a little bit, and one thing that I've always admired about you is that you really, uh, are kind of able to take life and the things that happen to you and still create some sort of meaning or beauty from them. I think that's a very special talent that you have is being able to maybe take circumstances that aren't favorable and then turning them around and using it as kind of, a moment of growth for yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you've been doing during the pandemic to kinda keep you grounded or to keep you balanced?
So I start well, my nephew's 7, so he's mainly the energetic one in the house. So it's like, can we go play? Can we do this? Can we play some games? So he takes the focus off of like stress with school or the pandemic itself. Then I also like to draw. So I've been trying to get back into that. Um I also noticed that I do like to paint. So that is
Yeah.
something I'm trying to get into as well. Um it's just all in all trying to get myself back to where I was
Mm.
mentally. Like again, it's been hard, but
Yeah.
there's always a way to turn things around and think positive. So
Yeah.
I'm not used to doing that. But it's something I have to do because if not, this is something that's gonna, how would I say, eat me alive
Yeah, of
and
course.
bug me. So I'm gonna beat myself up over it, but I'm trying not to. So it's
Yeah.
like I just have to go with the flow and just find things here and there that'll make me feel like myself before the pandemic.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And what are some of the things, like, in terms of, like, reaching out to people or community? Is there anything that's really helped you to stay connected?
So for those that don't know, I have a condition called PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome. And that is where you have an imbalance of hormones, and you can have symptoms such as facial hair, weight gain, infertility, what else? Irregular cycles. And so I have grew out my facial hair. It's been 4 years. And I didn't
Yeah.
think it would be as much of how would I say it, to the world. So I did it for myself to make me feel
Mm.
like me, find something that works with myself. And so it's been something that I've been posting online, and I've gotten requests and messages from other women who suffer from the same thing, the same condition.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I felt it was right to make a group. And so the group is called PCOS Tribe Warriors. And with these
Mm.
women is we're all going through the same thing. Everyone's symptoms are different, but we all connect because we do have PCOS. Now every Wednesday we have a group meeting at 4:30, and we talk about symptoms, we talk about how do we cope with it, how's the pandemic with it, um and just things basically on PCOS. So again, there's newcomers, so we ask them about their symptoms and we get to know each other. We get emotional. It's just that
Yeah.
type it's just that type of group where it's like you have every right to feel comfortable. There's no judging. Um we all just, you know, we're there for one another, and that's we encourage one another as well. So it's just something that's made me feel at home because
Mm.
not everybody knows what PCOS is. So when you have a group to know exactly what you're going through, I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that you were able to create that safe space for people and um, allow them to feel, welcome and open uh, about your own experiences so that they can feel welcome and open about their own. That's a really amazing thing. It's
Thank
really
you.
great that that you developed that community.
It's more where you have everyone's like they don't know what PCOS is or what you feel like. They can say they understand, but in reality, they won't. And it's nothing bad. It's just you wouldn't know what PCOS is and how it affects your life if you're not going through it.
Mm.
So to have that group of women to actually continue talking and sharing their experiences, and there's multiple women who have suffered from infertility, and then there's other women that actually have PCOS and haven't suffered that,
Mm.
where we come together and we talk to each other like it's a possibility. You know what I'm trying to say? Never give up. And so all together, that whole PCOS, it's like we're warriors, we're strong, and together we are one, so we will get through it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and especially like in this time of life, we need community so much more. Like we can't do everything alone. Um and
You're
being
right.
able to connect to people in that way is so important to be able to keep
Thank
us
you.
moving forward. Yeah. Um what gives you hope? Like what are some of the things that keep you moving forward even when life is really tough?
Um, just knowing that I have done this for myself, as in, okay, so school wise, I continue to go because this is something I want for myself. This is not something that someone was like, okay, go here, do this. No, I want a better education to better myself.
Hmm.
So that's why I went to school. Now, in the PCOS community, these women give me the hope because when I'm
Yeah.
feeling down, I can go to them and we can communicate because, again, they know exactly how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling this way. Or if they don't know how I'm feeling, I'll write to them and they'll be like, okay, I went through this, but these are ways that I have coped. See if it works for you.
Hmm.
So just being a part of that community has given me hope to continue moving forward.
Yeah.
because if it wasn't for them, I honestly don't know where I would be. Even if I
Mm.
made the group, you know what I'm trying to say? But every woman is
Right.
different, and them sharing their stories is just like, okay, yeah, I'm going through the same thing, but
Yeah.
I know we can get through it together.
Mm. I love that. Yeah, again, that sense of community and knowing that we're not alone, that we have other people to help us carry our burdens when things get really heavy or feel like too much.
Yep, I agree.
I love that. Well, Alma,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for being on Friday Feels today. You offered such wonderful insight and wisdom. And I'll be sure when I post this to tag you in it on Yammer. So that way, if anybody is interested in joining your PCOS community, or if they ever, just need somebody to kind of, um, talk to about it or just like reflect with, that way they will know where to go.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. I
Yeah.
just want to say that to whoever is going through this whole pandemic, you are not alone. We all are going through it. Just if you need help, reach out.
Mm. Yep. Always, always ask for help, even when it feels like it's the hardest thing you'll ever do.
Exactly.
Well, thanks so much, Alma. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Sarah. You as well.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
That's all for now. Join us next week for another episode of Friday Feels. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe. Be well.